Best comment gets pinned. Good luck.
From where I was sitting, I can see your belly.
Sorry, I'm waiting for the punchline. Go on. No, seriously, go on. You can see my belly, and we can all see you dying right now.
You know that weird, guilty, but satisfying feeling when someone who's been fake nice to your face forever finally gets exposed? Now crank that feeling way up, toss in forced laughs, painfully awkward sing-alongs, and a whole lot of Hollywood privilege, and that's exactly what this video is about.
I want to speak to James here. It's James, isn't it?
This isn't just drama. This is a full-on public unraveling, and you'll want to watch every second. This is one of the most satisfying collapses the internet has ever seen, and here's why. This wasn't some random pile-on or a single bad joke taken the wrong way. This was years, even decades of people quietly saying, "Yeah, that guy's a nightmare," finally boiling over. The mask slipped, and the stories came flooding out, all pointing to the same uncomfortable truth. James Corden didn't just fall from grace. He tripped over his own ego, tumbled downhill, and somehow still blamed everyone else on the way down. And to really understand why this downfall feels so earned, you have to rewind to a time when James Corden was actually liked, which sounds wild now, but it really happened. Back in 2007, James co-created Gavin and Stacey with Ruth Jones, and the show straight up blew up across the UK. It was funny, heartfelt, and felt real, the kind of show people quoted at work the next day. James played Smithy, loud, childish, annoying, but somehow still lovable, and audiences couldn't get enough of him. Overnight, he went from a struggling actor to a full-on household name. This was his golden moment, the kind of success that could have set him up forever if he stayed grounded. But according to people around him, that grounded energy didn't last long at all. Fame hit James fast, and it hit hard. Co-stars later said his attitude flipped almost immediately, like a switch got pulled. Rob Brydon, yes, that Rob Brydon, reportedly had to pull him aside and tell him to chill out. Even James' own sisters warned him not to let success turn him into that guy, which says a lot. When your own family is already checking your ego before you've even peaked, that's not random, that's a warning sign. Instead of listening, James leaned into the entitlement. He tried turning Gavin and Stacey fame into sketch shows and movie roles, but almost all of them crashed hard. Horn and Corden got absolutely slammed by critics, and the cracks were already showing. Lesbian vampire killers quickly turned into a full-on punchline, and the reviews weren't just bad, they were savage. Critics didn't hold back, and the backlash hit fast. But instead of taking a breath or looking inward, James went straight into defense mode. Every critique was treated like a personal attack, and every flop somehow became someone else's fault. That mindset didn't fade. It locked in and followed him everywhere. Then came a moment in 2010 that should have humbled him on the spot. At the Glamour Awards, Patrick Stewart, an actual acting legend, publicly called James out on stage for being disengaged and unprofessional. This wasn't some random hater or online noise. This was a respected icon calmly pointing out bad behavior. James didn't take it well at all. Instead of owning it or apologizing, he snapped back, openly mocking Patrick Stewart right there in front of everyone.
When the presenters are up here and when the recipients are receiving their awards, don't stand at the back of the stage with your hands in your pockets, looking around as though you wished you were anywhere but here.
The room went awkward fast, and the mask slipped in real time. That moment didn't end his career.
The world got to see James Corden as a fat pussy.
But it exposed something major. James Corden couldn't handle criticism without firing back, and that flaw only got louder as time went on. Fast forward to 2014, when CBS made one of the strangest late-night decisions anyone had seen. Then, CBS made a move that caught everyone off guard. They handed The Late Late Show to James Corden. Most Americans had no clue who he even was. Craig Ferguson had just walked away, expectations were rock bottom, and it felt like a gamble from the jump. But CBS stumbled onto a secret weapon that changed everything. Carpool Karaoke. And here's the wild part, it actually worked. Watching huge celebrities butcher songs in traffic was funny, chaotic, and easy to share. Adele, Paul McCartney, Lady Gaga, clip after clip went viral overnight. Billions of views flooded in, and suddenly James Corden was unavoidable. Award shows, movies, Broadway, voice roles, hosting gigs, he was everywhere all at once. America completely bought the act. He wasn't edgy or intimidating, he wasn't pushing buttons. He was the cheerful British guy who just wanted everyone to have a good time. Perfect for a clean, advertiser-friendly late-night era. But while the audience saw a harmless goofball, people behind the scenes saw something entirely different. Crew members started talking, writers started whispering, staff noticed the patterns, how he treated people below him, how his tone changed when cameras shut off, and how fast his mood flipped when things didn't go his way.
People that haven't seen my belly, is there anyone who hasn't got a... It's just there.
Then came a moment that cracked the illusion for a lot of viewers.
For whatever it's worth, I like your belly, so.
During a game on Jimmy Kimmel Live, James was asked a simple question. Name 2 of his camera operators, people he worked with every single day. These were the same people helping his show run smoothly, night after night, and he couldn't name a single one.
The innocent question that he should have been easily able to answer.
Name 2 of the cameramen in this room.
Not one. The room went painfully quiet. Jimmy Kimmel tried to play it off with a laugh, but James froze, and that silence said everything. It wasn't about forgetting a name, it was about how little attention he paid to the people around him unless they were famous or useful. That clip spread fast, and a lot of people saw him differently after that. From there, the mask started slipping even faster. In 2017, just days after the Harvey Weinstein scandal broke, James decided it was a good idea to make jokes about it at a public event. The crowd didn't laugh, the internet didn't laugh either, and once again, his instincts were completely off. Rose McGowan publicly called James out, and she didn't sugarcoat it at all. She used the same words people behind the scenes had been using for years: tone-deaf, self-centered, and completely clueless. For a lot of viewers, that was the first time those rumors went fully public.
Then James made what might have been his biggest mistake yet. He did a Reddit AMA. If you ever want a case study on how a public image can fall apart in real time, that thread is it. The comments flooded in fast. Waiters, crew members, assistants, writers, and total strangers all shared first-hand stories. And the wild part was how similar they sounded. Different people, same pattern. Entitled behavior, aggressive tone, dismissive attitude, and zero awareness of how he treated others. One comment summed it up perfectly, calling him a massively entitled nightmare, and that line stuck. James answered a few safe questions, then disappeared. But by then, the damage was done. The conversation online completely flipped. People weren't asking if James Corden was difficult anymore. They were asking how he'd gotten away with it for so long. And unfortunately for James, things were only starting to spiral. There wasn't one huge scandal that ended him. It was death by 1,000 stories. Once people felt safe speaking up, the floodgates opened, and what came out painted a picture that was impossible to ignore. Let's start with Cats, because you genuinely can't talk about James Corden's downfall without bringing up one of the most cursed movies ever made. Cats wasn't just bad, it reached legendary levels of chaos. James played Bustopher Jones, a CGI nightmare with human hands, and the internet had a field day with it. The film instantly became a cultural punchline. Critics tore it apart, audiences walked out, memes exploded everywhere, and instead of owning the mess or laughing at himself, he did what he usually does. He backed away fast. He later admitted, "I've not watched the film," which only made things worse. Imagine being so embarrassed by your own project that you refuse to see it while still expecting people to take you seriously as an entertainer. That moment alone didn't end his career, but it locked in a pattern people were already noticing. James loved the spotlight when things went right, but vanished the second they went wrong. No accountability, no self-awareness, just distance. And then came the prom, and this one hit his reputation hard, especially with younger audiences. James, a straight man, played a flamboyant gay character built almost entirely on outdated stereotypes. The backlash was loud, and for many people, this was the final straw. Critics called the prom tone-deaf, and many LGBTQ+ viewers said they felt mocked rather than represented. James didn't take that feedback well at all. Instead of listening or showing any understanding, he doubled down hard. He framed the backlash as people being too sensitive, completely missing the point. And once again, people noticed the same pattern. When James Corden gets criticized, empathy is nowhere to be found. But the moment that truly sealed his public villain era didn't happen on a red carpet or a movie set. It happened in a restaurant in 2022. The owner of 𝗝𝗺𝗲𝗲 in New York didn't quietly handle things or smooth it over behind the scenes. He publicly banned James Corden. Publicly. He even called him, quote, "the most abusive customer my staff has ever dealt with in 25 years." According to multiple accounts, the situation got ugly fast. James allegedly yelled at staff because his wife's omelet was made incorrectly, not once, but twice. Servers were reportedly berated, accused of incompetence, and left visibly uncomfortable. The entire restaurant felt the tension. This wasn't a bad day or a simple misunderstanding. This was a restaurant owner risking backlash and headlines just to stand up for his staff. And at that point, the stories were impossible to ignore anymore. James tried to save face, saying the situation was exaggerated. He claimed he didn't scream, that he only expressed frustration. But by that point, it didn't even matter anymore. Once that story broke, dozens more followed right behind it. Flight attendants, hotel staff, TV crew members, writers, drivers, different cities, different years, same exact behavior. People described him ignoring his own family in public while snapping at workers like they didn't matter. Others said he treated assistants like furniture, invisible unless he needed something. Some directors even claimed he was the most difficult host they'd ever worked with. Writers alleged he tried to lowball pay and take credit for ideas he didn't come up with. The stories kept stacking, and none of them contradicted each other. And that's when the nice guy brand completely collapsed. Because here's the truth, James Corden wasn't exposed by one massive scandal. He was exposed by consistency. Every story lined up, every account matched, and once people finally started paying attention, they realized the signs had always been there. Even the Late Late Show started feeling different after that. The energy shifted, the jokes felt forced, and the illusion that once sold millions was officially gone. Carpool Karaoke stopped hitting the same way, and people could feel it. Guests looked less excited, segments felt stiff and forced. The magic was gone, and without that viral shield protecting him, his personality was suddenly front and center. Ratings started dipping, clips underperformed, and Hollywood did what it always does when the vibe shifts. It quietly backed away. No big announcements, no dramatic cancellations, just silence. And that silence said everything. Then in April 2023, James announced he was leaving The Late Late Show. He framed it as wanting more time with his family, wanting a fresh chapter, wanting peace, all the usual lines.
But let's be real. When the industry cools on you and the audience turns, family time starts sounding a lot like PR language for an exit strategy. The era was over, even if nobody wanted to say it out loud. His final episode finally aired. Big-name guests showed up, smiles were exchanged, but it didn't feel like a celebration at all. It felt more like relief, like everyone involved was ready to close the book and move on. And the most telling detail of all, CBS didn't replace him. They didn't search for a new host, they didn't reboot the format, they didn't even try to recreate what he had built. They just ended The Late Late Show entirely. And in Hollywood, that's the ultimate insult, being so unmissable that the entire time slot disappears the moment you leave. So why does James Corden's downfall feel so satisfying to so many people? Because it wasn't random, it wasn't unfair, and it wasn't exaggerated. We've all met someone like him, the fake nice coworker, the boss who smiles in meetings and explodes behind closed doors, the person who takes credit, dodges blame, and plays the victim when called out. When the pressure finally came, James Corden didn't lose his career because people were mean to him. He lost it because the mask finally slipped, and once it did, nobody wanted to help him put it back on. This wasn't a tragedy, it was accountability catching up. Karma arrived late, but it arrived right on time. And that's the real lesson in all of this. Fame can carry you far, but it can't save you forever. You can hide behind charm, accents, jokes, and viral segments for a while, but eventually, who you are when the cameras are off always catches up. James Corden didn't get canceled out of nowhere. There was no mob, no conspiracy, no single moment taken out of context. This was years of behavior stacking up, one story after another, until the weight finally broke the illusion. The internet didn't create his reputation, it confirmed it. People didn't turn on him because it was trendy. They turned because the pattern became impossible to ignore. When waiters, writers, crew members, and total strangers all describe the same experience, that's not coincidence, that's consistency. And the wild part? All of this could have been avoided. A little humility, a little accountability, a little respect for the people who helped build the platform.
Can we get a taxi ready, please? The old man going home, okay.
But instead, ego ran the show. In the end, James Corden didn't lose everything overnight. He faded out slowly, quietly, exactly the way Hollywood does when it's done with you. And once the spotlight moved on, nobody chased it back. And that's how the story really ends. Not with applause, not with a comeback, but with silence. The kind of silence that only shows up when an era is truly over. James Corden's rise was loud, flashy, and everywhere, but his fall was quiet, slow, and impossible to spin. This wasn't about cancel culture or internet outrage. It was about patterns. It was about how you treat people when you think nobody's watching. Fame didn't change who he was. It just gave more people a front row seat. So if this breakdown made you think, or if you've ever dealt with someone who smiles in public and treats people badly behind the scenes, you already get why this hits so hard. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to see it. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. Did this downfall feel deserved, or did it go too far? Let's talk about it.